Now the easiest way to get this truck up in the air is to put this jack underneath the differential, also known as the rear end. As you can see from this wheel, it's slightly orange colored, and the reason for that is the caliper is stuck. So we'll have to see what the problem is. This is what happens with cheap sockets. Right here is a crack, and it's kind of hard to see right there. Also, there's another one right here. But these are cheap sockets. This one is Chinese made. Now this bolt right here holds the brake line onto the caliper, and it goes right here. Okay, this disc is not coming off. You can see the joint right here. I had to take this grinder and took this wire brush and went all the way around the hub right there where the joint is. Now I think that this is the joint, but I'm not sure. So I've been working on it for a while, and I pounded all the way around this disc rotor to try to get it off. Okay, one thing I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to take this bunch of washers and nuts and everything. I'm going to put this bolt right here and use it to push this disc off of here. So we'll see how that works. bolts, by the way, are 1/2 inch. Okay, here you can see the setup that I have. This nut rests against the disc or the rotor. In the maintenance book they call it the disc. Well, it's a rotor. And then these are 19 millimeter. You have to hold it one end with a 19 millimeter socket. And then this nut here rests against the disc so that I don't mess up the threads on the bolt. And then I'm just going to slowly try to get it off. You might have to have another 19 mil open end wrench on this end here. Then I've got a washer resting against this caliper bracket. I don't know if it's going to work because it sort of puts everything in a bind. Okay, there we go. Well, that should get it. We'll see how that works or not. I got a punch to help me. Here's why I have to change these big things. There are grooves way up in here, and there's a ridge right here. I would estimate that's at least a 1/16 of an inch, but I don't plan on using these because I got new ones. This is how they look when they come from the automotive store. So this is probably made in China, I'm not sure, but that's how it is. Here's the old caliper, and one of the sides on the caliper got stuck. It's very difficult to see it, but this brake shoe right here, or caliper shoe, this is all worn off, and it's down to the bare metal. You got to. I saved these bolts, but we'll see if they come with a new one. Also, this is the banjo bolt right here, and there's a copper washer with that. So make sure that you put the copper washer on. Yeah, this new one comes with bolts, so you have to remove those first. And I got a copper washer, a brand new one, on here. Also, these clips, you're going to need these. This is very important right here. This is the bleeder. The bleeder has a cap on it, a top. Looks like that. Make sure you don't lose this bleeder top. I'm going to leave it on here for now so I don't lose it. Like that. I may just loosen these bolts, but I'm going to try it without loosening those bolts. Make sure that when you have these, they have these things on here. These are sheet metal, but they're spring sheet metal. And the pucks, I call them, the pucks in the caliper act on these. And make sure you have them on. And make sure you don't get them in backwards or upside down or something like that. You cannot hardly even get them in backwards. But make sure you get a book that shows you how these go in. On this old one, take these bolts out right here. Okay, and there's two parts to the caliper. Most Chrysler products have two parts to the caliper. So you might not want to hit this, but go ahead and hit it anyway. This is the other part to the caliper. All right, this shows you how the shoes are positioned. This is the puck I was talking about. Now, if I was going to reuse this, I would take it apart and lubricate it, and also drive this puck back into the caliper, back into here. Well, these are all rusty and everything, and the caliper is unusable because, I mean, you can buy a kit to remake this part of it, the puck area, but I'm not going to do that. I bought brand new ones. And if you can see, this has the two parts to it. And I think I am going to take these bolts out. Now these have boots on them, right here, and here's another one on both sides. Make sure you do not damage those because they keep out rust and dirt and oil and salt and water and everything. If I didn't mention it, these are 12 millimeter. And as I said, these bolts hold these two sections together. See, here's one of them. And make sure you know how these go back together and remember it. Okay, now if you look at this old one and we compare these side by side, make sure that they look alike. Alright. I mean, there's a chance that you get the wrong ones at the auto parts store. Now if you look on this old one, it has these clips that I talked about. I believe these are stainless, and so I think I've had to check these before. I worked at a place that made parts for foreign cars, and I believe I've had to check these before so that they weren't bent. So make sure yours are not bent. I worked at an automotive parts factory and I checked thousands of these things. Okay, now if you look at this one, here's where it goes. This one with the extra long part to it. Okay, now these fit over this part right here. If you can see on here, these were made by TRW, which is a very well-known brake manufacturer. And if you look here, there's little tabs here and here. These go on the ends. Don't try to force them on. Just snap them on. Like that. And then these have to be lubricated. You're going to have brake grease like this. These have to be lubricated with brake grease. We aren't going to put them on. We aren't going to put this on now because we got to get the shoes on. So make sure you put both clips on. Well, I guess both of them have these long tabs on. So just snap them on carefully, like that, and then it will look like this when you're done. Alright. Now we're ready for the shoes. We're going to put them on just like this. And by the way, one of the reasons why this thing failed, these are almost solid in here. You can't move them. These brake pads. Both pads are all like rusted in there, and they are not lubricated, and they should have been lubricated. Okay. Put this one on first. It helps if you put them on right. Okay. There's two little tabs right here. Right here. And right here. You got to put your shoe on under that. Okay, if you look at the pads, they're exactly like this one. The curved part goes up. Now I've just barely got this under these little tabs right here. I've got the shoe under that. I pried it up with a screwdriver. These hold the shoe down. Use your screwdriver to spread the grease around on all the moving parts. These pads are moving parts. Make sure you get underneath here. Right under there. Get some grease on it. Try not to get the grease all over the place, just on these clips, on the inside of these clips. Okay, now we're ready to put this in here, if I can remember how to do it. Okay, this is how it goes. Here's where you're going to screw into this part right here. So you have to line up these boots. That's where your bolts are going to go. Line up the boots with everything. With those holes I just showed you. And yeah, you're going to drop them and they fall all over the place. Make sure that these spring clips or spring devices are on the back. Don't reverse them like this. This is the pad surface right here. That goes toward the rotor. And this curved surface of these pads goes down in this instance so that the puck lines up with these spring devices on the back. Might have to move them around a little bit. Okay, make sure your pads are all the way out. When you put these bolts in, hopefully we're not going to have to take them all apart again, but I'm just going to put them in loose. Take special care of your banjo bolt down here. Don't lose it. Don't lose the copper washers. Okay, now it should look like this. This pad right here is all the way over as far as it'll go. Make sure that the clips have grease on them. And make sure that this pad right here, where the puck rests against, make sure that there's a wide enough gap so that your rotor will fit in there. And I'm going to check that right now. Take your new rotor, or if you have one that you have taken to an automotive place that can turn it on a lathe, if they can get it to the proper dimensions, then you can try this. Take your new rotor or a remanufactured one with this hub this way and the caliper down here like this with this lower part where the hub is. This part is where the hub is at. This is the hub right here. This extended area. Okay, take it, lift it up, drop it in. Make sure that it goes in easily. Okay, now here are all the things that you are going to need for assembly. Make sure you have your bolts. Place them down by the wheel or by the disc, somewhere below the disc. You're going to need this. This one is 13/16. That fits these big bolts. There may be an equivalent in millimeter, but I found that this worked best. Then you're going to have this, your 12 millimeter wrench for these small bolts over here. So make sure you have all your equipment. Okay, now for this operation, you're going to have a bucket because the caliper is going to go on there. Okay, here's the hose back here. Blow off all the dirt. And then put your caliper up. I'll put one copper washer on this side on the bolt for the banjo hose. Now you're going to put these in. Somebody put blue Loctite on these. I do not think that's necessary. Okay, here are the specifications for this particular model. Okay, first of all, the banjo bolt, 20. Caliper mounting. Now, apparently I put caliper mounting for both these, but apparently the little bolts, and this is definite, the little bolts are 22 pound, foot-pounds. This is all foot-pounds. And then the caliper mounting bolts, the large ones, this is 100. That's the large bolts right there. Okay, pump it up. Same procedure. Push it all the way to the floor.